Alright, here it is. This Harmony box is not a Harmony guitar, but it says the perfect first guitar package for ages 6 and up. But this was the first guitar that I bought when I passed 7th grade. It was this little Harmony guitar, and mine was the gunmetal gray looking guitar, but that's not what's in here. What's in here is my first guitar that I ever owned. This is the one I told you guys about that my uncle bought for me when I was 4 years old. And it is super old. I've had this guitar for 30 years. Look at that. How dark it's turned. It's got some scratches all over it from sitting in my old closet from the time when I was 4 till I was 14, and I got this thing out, was going to start messing around and trying to learn, but it's so small that like my hand can almost cover the first half of the neck. And it's got Ernie Ball 8s on it, but it's nowhere near in tune. How's that for a sound demo, huh? But this thing is old, man. And I've kept it ever since I first got it. Was there even anything on the inside of it? No, it's completely bare. There's not even a truss rod adjustment in it. There's no model number. There's no nothing. I was told when I got it when I was 4 years old that it was a miniature Martin. But this thing has been through it. Look at this. Look at this bridge here. You see those screws in there? That's because after I'd had it, maybe a year, I was 4.5, 5 years old. I can remember doing this very vaguely. I grabbed the strings just like this here. And it was like, hey Dad, check this out. And I ripped straight up, pulled the whole bridge off of it. And my dad's like, oh, you ruined the guitar. He's never going to learn nothing now. And he had to screw this bridge back on. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws in that thing to hold that thing together. And I'm sure I could string it up and play it, but I don't think I'll ever do that. I'll just keep this because of the sentimental value it has. Look at those frets. Oh my God. They're completely rusted. And even the fingerboard. It's got a little chip right there. It's got pits in it and bubbles and all kinds of crap. Look at them old classical tuners on that thing. I can't restring this kind of tuner. It's like I'm trying to do something that you need a tech to do for you. I'm sure there's people out there that could give me a lesson on it, but I can't do it. It ain't even got no strap buttons, dude. I can still smell it. It smells just like the first time I opened the box. It doesn't have the mildew smell, the old age smell that some acoustics can get. And there's not even any separation from the top and the sides. And the back isn't even separating at all. But I wanted to bring this on here and show you guys because how many people can say they still have their very first guitar? It's completely unplayable, but I would never get rid of it because my uncle gave me this, and I think he knew at some point I might get into playing the guitar, and he wanted me to have this. He brings it to my aunt's house. When I was 4 years old, I was staying there until my mom got off work, and all my cousins were there, and they're all like I want to see your guitar. And they're prancing around with it, strumming on it, hitting the strings like really hard, and I'm like, don't break my new guitar. I wanna go home and learn. And I was too busy playing outside and being a kid to take up the discipline it takes to learn guitar. But I thought, I'll keep it. I'll learn at some point. This thing sat in my closet from the time that I was 4 years old to the time I was 14 years old. It sat in my closet, and then we moved here, and it sat in my closet for another number of years and years and years. That's where it's been even now. It sits in my closet. And then I got my harmony when I passed 7th grade because I wanted to start learning. That's what I learned on. A little bit bigger than this one. And if I broke it, I didn't have any sentimental value to it. But this thing's just cool. I mean, it's really got that 30-year age look to it, boy. And the strings, maybe they got a little bit of shine to them still, but they are getting a little black on there. But this is just cool. And I might pass it down to my kids if I ever have a kid to keep. Because the guy that gave me this was one of the best guitarists and bassists I've ever seen. Oh man, look at this. The nut has either been replaced or it has moved. Look at this. Look at that gap right there. You see that? The nut's bigger than the neck. On both sides of it. Look at that. But, I mean, I could probably fix it up and get it playing, polish the frets up a little bit, and maybe one of my kids could learn on it or something. But I would be a little scared, with little kids breaking it just because of what it means to me. This guitar means the world to me. And I hope that my uncle can hear me up there when I'm playing and knowing that I finally learned and finally did what he thought I would do. When I turned 14, my journey started, and this has been with me the whole way. It's just really, really cool. I wished I just knew what it was called. I don't even know if this thing exists anymore. Because when I was 4 years old, that was 1991? 91. Something like that, 1990, 91. So this has to be 80s model, 89, 88. Something like that. And the frets, the side markers are still good. They're nice and bright. They haven't turned any kind of color, but the frets are sharp. Sharp, sharp, sharp. And it feels like they're starting to kind of want to lift out of the fingerboard. Oop, there's a little bit of a separation crack going on. It's starting all the way around. Look at that. Man. But it is really cool. I thought you guys might appreciate this. And to all you beginner guitarists out there, this is what we had when I was 4 years old. And that's 34 years ago, man. And now, the beginner guitars you can get now are miles ahead of this thing. What is this stuff? Look, oh, that's the screws. I thought that was like a big old bolt or something. That saddle there looks relatively new, but I don't ever remember replacing that. Ooh, that G string, boy. That's the perfect G right there. That's one of them notes that when you have your couple beers and you're feeling good and you hit that note and start playing your chords on there, you're going to be like, wow, man, I sound amazing. And then you wake up the next day and all your friends are like, dude, you got to practice because that's not happening. But you know what? It looks cool, and that's what really matters. As long as it looks cool. But just wanted you guys to see it. I could talk forever about it. I won't drag it on. But I hope you guys have a good night once again. And shred it up, even on something like this. Get you one of these like small little guitars and put it in some crazy tuning with some killerly light gauge strings. And see what kind of weird concept you can come up with. That would be something cool to do. I wouldn't do it on this one just because this thing's as old as me. And if it feels like I feel right now, after getting off work and having scoliosis in my back and ADHD, my mind racing all the time, I'd probably break too. So I can imagine how this thing would feel if I put some regular strings on it, tune it up. It'd probably yank this thing completely off. I don't even know if those screws would even hold the wood so old. But I hope you guys enjoy looking at this with me. I kind of was wondering what to call this series. Because I've got, 8 guitars that I've done this with. Maybe I should call it like Up Close and Personal or something. I don't know. But I just wanted to show you guys this thing. Ooh, the rosette there, it started to fade a little bit. You see that right there? That and this, that's for me. Like hitting the pick, dragging that pick across those strings when I did play on this at 5, 6 years old. And there's a little nick in the fingerboard there. But look at those frets. I still can't get over that. They are like rusted, boy. You need a tetanus shot playing on this thing. And then on the side of the fingerboard right there, you can see a little imperfection. It's pretty freaking old, man. But I thought you guys might like to see it. Everybody that has subscribed, I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate everyone that watches these videos. And I'm not talking some of my videos about this is what I play through. These are the awesome guitars I have. And here's how I practice. Here's my strings and my picks. I'm not trying to be arrogant about anything. It's just, it's just how I talk when I talk about guitar. I don't mean to sound arrogant. I'm nowhere near the player that some of these guitars could allow me to be. Like those Satriani guitars, that Prestige Ibanez, I can't play those things to the level that they can be played at. I can play them to the level that this can be played at, which is, that's a rock and metal tune right there. But but yeah, I don't mean to come across as like big-headed or anything like that. I know there are some guitar players on YouTube, man, that just blow my mind. But if there's something that I talk about in these videos and showing like my amp settings and things like that, it's just to help people out, give them a general knowledge of equipment and stuff like that for beginners. And if there's anything that I talk about that you guys are like, hey man, you're wrong, dude, let me know about it so that I don't keep doing that. But I want you guys to see this, because this is, even looking at it right now, to me, so many memories are flooding back. I bet you that neck, I bet that thing, let's look down it together, shall we? I don't know, it looks pretty dang straight to be 30 years old. I don't know how well you can see that. Yeah, it's dead straight to be 30 years old. I figured that neck would be absolutely screwed, man. But yeah, I just wanted you guys to see this once again. And thank you to everybody that watches these. And thank you to all of you that have subscribed. I'm just getting into the YouTube thing and just trying to just have fun with it. And it is really fun to sit and talk like this to you guys. I know I'm yammering on to myself most of the time. And people might think this dude's crazy when they hear me in here. But it's just fun to me. If I have a bad day at work, I can jump on here talk about my instruments and the strings I use, the amp I play through, all that different stuff. And it just takes my mind away from the day I've had. So if it helps me, maybe some of that will help you guys too. If you like to sit and listen to people talk about guitars, I can talk forever. I mean, I don't know much of everything about a guitar. I know a little bit. I know enough to get by. Like on theory and stuff, I don't know theory. I know just enough to know what chords are and what scales are and what modes might be. Like one note in a major scale changes it to a mode or whatever. But I'm no music theory genius. I just like to yammer on about guitar. But I hope you guys have a good night. Look at that nut. I still can't get over that nut. Look at that. It looks like it's got a set of ears on it. Maybe it's listening to me play, and he's like, how come he doesn't play me that way? It's because you're too old, friend. But it is really cool. But this guitar will never leave me. It'll always be here. So you guys take care. Keep watching. Subscribe. If you think some of your buddies that play guitar might enjoy watching me talk about these things, tell them about the channel. Tell them about Blazing Buzzard. So, and I would greatly appreciate that. You guys have a great night. Keep shredding. Even on this. Shred it up.